Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well and ready for the weekend. The sun's starting to come out, so it's time to get back outside. I hope you enjoy yourself, can get out there. Trading history in the stock market is that they used to trade outside. So at Wall Street in New York, at the corner of Wall and Broad is historically the buttonwood tree where they used to trade underneath. So even they got to work outside. So if you can work outside, if I can work outside, if we can work outside, let's get back out there. Remember, a year ago we were stuck in our homes. We couldn't go anywhere. So if it's nice enough and you can get outside, enjoy that, and hopefully you'll enjoy your weekend with that. Let's not take the freedom to get out of our houses for granted anymore. We've had another historical week in the market and in the world. So please tune in on Tuesday for our Tuesday video. Unfortunately, next week, I'll apologize in advance. Our Tuesday market video will be a little bit late because of the holiday of Shavuos. So we're going to get it out as soon as we can next week. As for today, the planning video today is May 14th, Friday. So there are so many planning items that I want to discuss with you. So what I'm going to do is, in addition to the conversations that we have face-to-face, yes, even face-to-face, or on the phone or on Zoom, whatever it is, I'm also going to start to put together a couple of small videos here and there, thematic videos on a couple of different things that we want to talk about. This week I did one on the topic of sell in May and go away, and really what that means, what some of the data on that is. So take a look at that. Keep an eye out for that. That should come out in the next today or tomorrow. Or sometime this week. I do want to also follow up on the Charitable Giving coffee chat that we did last fall. So I want to talk a little bit about charitable giving and the missteps that are out there that can be made. So what we want to do, and more importantly, how do we avoid those? So we know that philanthropy is a big part of what so many of you do, and we want to discuss some ways to avoid the errors and make the most difference that you can. So be sure to ask us also about the new donor advised fund program that we have. So that's now available. So ask us about that as well. So Monday is May 17th. So if you have not made your IRA contribution arrangements, please, well, you may be too late, but if you still want to try to do so for 2020, please be in contact with us and we'll see what we can do. Also, as I mentioned above, are you ready for in-person meetings? We are doing in-person meetings on a case-by-case basis, so certainly let us know what your interest in that is. Let's discuss what weeks like this one mean to your long-term planning. So as you can imagine, I've spoken to many people in this week and weeks like it about what the market and the volatility in the market and how what that means to us and what we are experiencing. So as we pointed out in the weekly Tuesday videos, it seems that we are one big up day followed by one big down day, and it's usually back and forth and back and forth. So it's enough to drive you crazy, but it really doesn't have to. I was recently asked about the performance of a portfolio that we recently reallocated, literally within the last 2 weeks. And in the last couple of weeks, with the markets down 3 to 5%, this portfolio was down a little bit less than 1%. And the question was, should we go back to where we were? And the answer I gave, which is the answer I'll tell you, is that we didn't make that change for the month of May, or certainly not for the first 2 weeks of May. We made that for the next 3 to 5 years. And yes, there are going to be times where we have to react to very short-term things, but not in most cases. And so there are going to be things that we're going to have to look at short-term time horizons. We talked about that a little bit in last week's video, that we're going to have short-term goals. There's nothing wrong with those, but our long-term goals are very rarely derailed in a week, a day, or even a month. So as we've discussed it many times, and we talked about it again last week, it is now the time. The economy is humming along. The markets are near all-time highs. Now's the time that we dig into your portfolio to find out, is the risk level that you're carrying right now the risk that you want to be carrying, and more specifically, the risk that you're comfortable carrying. So, and is it necessary for you to reach your goals to take those levels, those risk levels? So please, I urge you, don't wait till March 2020 to scratch your head and say, okay, is this the kind of risk that I really want to be taking when the markets are down like they were last year at this time? Also, the summer is nearly upon us, and that brings all kind of new planning concepts to life. So especially following the year we've had, are you planning to travel more this summer? Maybe even more this coming year? Have you readjusted your budgets and your cash flows for that? So please give us a call. Let's talk about that. We're doing a lot of that planning right now, and we want to make sure we do that. So before we try to end on a high note, which I'll get to in just a minute, just another reminder about fraud and the importance about paying attention. So I know that you've seen them. You've probably even been them at one point in time. The person walking through the parking lot, staring at their cell phone, intent on what they're doing, and about to walk into traffic, or maybe on a funny note, like me, walking into a car by accident. We got to learn from this. We have to pay attention, and that's really what we're looking at to try to do. It's not just about the cell phone in the parking lot. This is everything. We just need to pay attention to where things are. We are very careful in our offices to make sure that if we get an email from you, or if we get a message from you, we are always going to call you back to confirm if it's an order or for some instructions. So many of you know to expect those now, but so we need to make sure that, and the reason for that is that cybercrime is crazy right now. As most of you know by now, the Colonial Pipeline that carries fuel from Texas to New Jersey and supplies over half of the fuel for the East Coast was hacked this week. And it put a real hurt on gas stations and on everyone in terms of fuel prices and just plain inconvenience. We think they're going to be up by the end of the weekend, but let this just be another lesson to us. Yes, the criminals are going to go after the big guys, but as you've heard me discuss, the 401ks, your bank accounts, your credit cards, it can all happen. Your email, it can all happen. They're all vulnerable. I'm interested about you guys. Have any of you had your accounts hacked? I can tell you I've had, at least on one occasion, the credit card hacked. I've had my email hacked on multiple occasions. So again, please be aware of it. I hear it all the time. You don't want to get your hard copy statements. You get too much email from you. I get it, but please keep an eye out. Watch for emails that don't look right. Watch your bank balances. Watch your credit card statements. Watch your 401k statements and your LPL, your IHT statements as well. Watch all those things. Are you pulling your credit card once a year? Your credit report once a year? Maybe that's something you can do. Are you signed up for a monitoring service? There's some free monitoring services out there. There's some paid monitoring services out there. Most of the credit cards are doing it for you also. Again, sorry to hit this so hard, but for those of you that have dealt with it, or even those of you who sat in hours-long lines at the gas stations this week, only to find out that, as they say, about 70% of all gas stations were literally out of gas this week, you understand what I mean. So, okay, that's it. Have a wonderful weekend. I want to end on a high note. To all the college graduates, congratulations. We've been very, very blessed to be a part of the financial end of a lot of that, and we'll continue to do that. As you may imagine, May 29 is approaching. 529. We'll talk about the 529 college savings plans again. We did a coffee chat on that last year, so if you want to look back on that as well. We're very, very proud of all the graduates, college, specialty schools, high schools, all the graduates. We're really proud of them. And so we're about to be deep into the season of graduation, so congratulations to everyone. Everything else, just stay safe, stay healthy, and again, have a great weekend.